Hello, community, and welcome to episode 180 of the Sacred Remembering podcast. It is so good to be here with you today. And there is a big transmission coming through. Today, we're going to talk about creativity versus reactivity. And then we are going to do an energy transmission in this episode because I feel it coming through. I sat down to center and I was just seeing specifically the Magenta Rose Collective that I have now started to channel. They're making their appearance here today and bringing through this transmission of the Divine Mother, the Divine Sophia energy. And I sense that this is really going to boost chi and boost creativity, maybe even like glandular support today. So we'll see what happens in that energy activation after I give some words to the context of what I am inclined to bring through here this week for Sacred Remembering. Again, it is so good to be here with all of you. And if you are taking the time to listen to this podcast, I've said this before, but it's just so amazing that you're here, that we found one another, because there are so many things that are vying for our attention in the world today. So if you are listening to my voice out of all of the things that you could be listening to, I mean, holy moly, I'm just so grateful. And I really want to give back by making each and every episode as much as it can be so that it is sacred inspiration on your path of sacred remembering and standing in the truth of who you are, as we say, which is more important now than ever. We've been talking about this all year. This is like the theme of 2025. You know, these are very important times. They're not end times, but they are the end of a certain paradigm. And we wanted something different. We wanted global and planetary change. We wanted awakening. We are getting it, right? But other things have to fall first. So when I attune out there to some of you, to the community, to the world, I keep hearing things like, it's so stressful, it's so horrible. And to be honest with you, I'm a little curious about that, because if we are like cultivating the sovereignty of our energy and we are aware of what these times are all about, then it doesn't have to be a horrible time. Like, where is that opinion coming from? Like, what is your inner guidance saying? So I'm also hearing some both and, like, oh, this is really horrible out there, and I know that this has to happen in order for us to create the new earth. Can we just actually go to the part where we are in personal and divine alignment with our source connection, so that we are creating through that source connection and less worried about what is going on in the world? I'm not saying to be a hermit or to, turn a blind eye to atrocities or any of those things. But again, I think today's episode is going to be hopefully medicine if you are just maybe even overwhelmed or confused about where to put your energy during these times. The short answer: put your energy into you and your source connection and your creative capacity and what wants to be created through you. And this is exactly the guidance that I'm receiving from my own source connection through this Magenta Rose Collective. And if you didn't hear me talk about it a few weeks ago, I've started to channel this Magenta Rose Collective, but they said, don't worry, Sarah, you're not channeling anything that is actually outside of yourself. You are channeling a part of where you came from. So like, I am a messenger for this, and really everything that I have been picking up on in the last few years regarding women's resources, women's sovereignty, and this particular codex around that called Heartland, it is all coming from the Magenta Rose Collective. So it's very wonderful to know that I have help. And, I do very much respect what is happening in that, awakening and that channeling. And I feel more fortified for it. And also, I'm still very much human and not pretending to be otherwise. So, um, they are, so in my morning pages is where I'm contacted by them most of the time. If you've never done the morning pages, it's like you free write for 3 pages the moment you wake up. My cats are not happy about not having food the moment I wake up. Their tactic to wake me up to get food is really backfiring because I'm not listening anymore because the journal is literally right beside the bed. I turn the light on, I pick it up, and I just go. And so that in and of itself is a really great creativity practice. And actually, backing up just a little bit more, I'll share that it was around the turn of the year where I got the intuition to go back to the morning pages, which I used to do, in 2020, 2021. I had a really solid practice with it. And I was guided back to that. And within just a few days, the Magenta Rose Collective was really coming through. So, if you've never heard my story about my last name, my given last name was not Poet. I mean, that's the name of my soul. But I took the name Poet per my intuition. So here we are, years later, and there's this channeling coming through writing in a new way. And so at the beginning of the year, a group of us were starting Structure and Flow again. And we always like pick some theme words, that we want to focus on, like core desires, right? And I had been grappling with success for a while. I may have told you guys this already. I'm making this version short. I had been grappling with the topic of success and like, what does it mean to me? And as a human design projector, success and bitterness are like the themes of being a projector. So this was something that I was contemplating, kind of asking my soul about, but not necessarily getting a clear answer. Like I couldn't seem to land on a definition of success that felt kind of meaningful enough for me, truly. And so I started Structure and Flow for the first like couple of days. And then all of a sudden, I think I listened to Kundalini teacher Guru Jagat. She was giving a class about creativity. It's a recording because she has passed. She passed in 2021. And this class was about creativity. And it just hit me like a light bulb going off that it is not success that I'm really desiring to feel. It's really deep creativity. It's like creativity is calling me. So what my definition of success is actually creativity, and like how in my own channel, how deep in my own rich creative essence am I actually being. So I've been walking with that. I've been in the morning pages. I've been with the Magenta Rose Collective, and I've been just deepening into this richness that we're going to touch on today through my words and my explanations, and then also through the meditation and channeled energy transmission that wants to come through. So this is really beautiful. This is a beautiful invitation for us all. And what the Magenta Rose Collective continues to say to me is, you are a creator being. Remember that you are a creator being. And I'm going to talk about a little bit later the awakening of the feminine and this deep remembrance that we all are creator beings, being such a tool for empowerment and this planetary revolution that is going on. So that's the point. If any of this topic really interests you, in March 2025, we are going to journey with this topic more closely in the Sacred Remembering community. So I am finally doing the thing of introducing the topic in, the weeks leading up to the month. And then that month, we're going to go deeper into the topic. It's like, oh my gosh, this divine structure is happening. So, Sarah, the Pisces here in Pisces season, I'm getting organized, I guess, or she's helping to organize me, feminine structures, um, this and that. I've been talking about that. And so, if you want to go deeper, please come into the Sacred Remembering community if you choose to journey with this more deeply through the month of March. It will be a soul activation for sure. Okay, so the topic today is reactivity or creativity. Reactivity versus creativity. And this is really coming up this week as a theme for me to contemplate. And I'll just give us some snippets here. So, reactivity. The world actually entrains us to be very reactive. Like it kind of wants us to be reactive beings instead of creational beings. So in the places that we put our attention these days, like if we are leaving our own little nook and cranny of the world and our own attention, and we're putting our attention into something like social media or, any of the social outlets, what do we have? We have reactions. We have reaction options, right? So we're supposed to like, we're supposed to heart, we're supposed to follow. And even like the quickness and the length of the snippets that we encounter on these platforms, it's very quick. It's like we're supposed to consume a lot. Maybe we get a little inspiration, but really what it is, they talk about like the little dopamine hits, but we're not going deep. Like if we're scanning Instagram, we're not really going deep. We might see something and be like, oh yeah, that's good inspiration. But like, what does that even mean? Like what does it even inspire? Like, it's so quick. And so what we're supposed to do is consume a lot of information. This is kind of the message from the world. It's not the message I'm giving you. Consume a lot of these like sound bites and then just react. Like we're just reacting to them. And um this is confusing. Because if you kind of get into this world without using your consciousness to see what's happening, then you could be repetitively engaging, giving this all of your energy, all of your life force, or a lot of your life force, right? And then you do something like you see one of these little snippets, these little 60-second sound bites that somebody really wants you to like consume. They want you to get that one, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, that's information. And you react to it and something happens inside of you. And then you like repost it and you think that in reposting it, that is making a contribution. I'm sorry. I do it too, but it's not really making a contribution. It's like, again, a little tiny reminder, but it's not like actual action. It's not making an actual contribution. It's a reaction. Like how many times you get on Instagram or something like that, and it is not your plan. Like I'll get on there to make a post or do something constructive, right? And then the first thing that catches your eye, the algorithms know what you like. They know what you've reacted to before, right? So they give you something to chew on. They give you something to consume. Sometimes I get on and I'm like, don't look, don't look, don't look. And then I look, right? It's like sometimes I get on to just like go to my profile and post something, but then I'm like looking, I'm consuming. And the next thing you know, there's a reaction, right? And then there's like the repost because like this brought something up in you. I'm always like, save the children, right? Like if something's about the war on children, I'm reposting it, right? Because I'm like, fuck the war on children. And I care so deeply about it and I'll repost it. And, maybe that matters and maybe it doesn't. Like, but what my guidance has been sharing with me recently is, before any of that, deepen into your own creativity, right? So that my contributions are not just reactions, reposts, um, you know, like saying that we believe in something because of one of these fucking sound bites. Like, please. There are so many of these sound bites that are being thrown around to confuse. They are taken out of context. I could go into details, but I'm not going to waste the time with that. So, like somebody does something emotional, somebody like says something extreme, and people like repost it all over, and this whole picture is painted. It's creating a more reactive world, right? And so just grok this for a second, conceptualize that every single thing that's put out there, that media station, or that like, it's a part of this matrix that's putting out what to think. I want to say that differently because it's not exactly the vibe I want to give. It's like already orchestrated, right? Everything that's on there has already been done. It's orchestrated. It's there because somebody wants you to see it. So it's not your own creative capacity, and there's like an energetic limit, maybe a ceiling, maybe a consciousness limit on anything that you are going to consume and react to, right? So you have to ask yourself, is this a good use of your life force? And is this why you were given life force to begin with? And I think that we can answer, no. Is it okay? Like, I'm not making judgment calls. Like, I'll be like, okay, I'm taking 10 minutes and I'm spacing out and scrolling Instagram, or I'm seeing what other people are doing on Instagram, right? And or like market research, whatever your reason, you just have to be conscious of your reason. But are you, like in some sort of, like, you bought in, you are opening this thing all day long, just looking, just scrolling and reacting. And I think if that is true, you probably have more of this fear essence moving through you, right? Because it's like compulsive. It's like, oh my God, there's so much to look at. Oh my God, there's so much like wrong in the world. Oh, we have to keep an eye on this and that. But like, again, you're being fed narratives. And is it, bottom line, is it a good use of your life force? You got to ask yourself that. You just really have to ask yourself that. I will say that the things that we see in the world can help us to be creative, right? So there's this component of like that reactivity that may inspire us to go create something else, create a piece of art, create a piece of writing, create a solution, create an organization, save the children, right? Like we may be motivated by the things that we see, react to it, and then use our life force to create something that is needed. That's a good thing. That is a wonderful thing. That's what I'm talking about. And I want to segue into, creativity and being a creator being. So we are creator beings. This is what the Magenta Rose Collective continues to remind me. Sarah, you are not a reactive being. You are a creator being, not a creative being, but they're saying you are a creator being. And they're like, sister, remember it. We will be here until you remember it. I'm not sure I have the whole picture yet, to be honest. Like, I'm sure I don't have the whole picture that they want me to receive yet. But I will say a couple of exciting kind of energetic things. I'll share one now and I think one later. I just opened up a new journal this morning, like a new Morning Pages journal. And it was like new vibe, new creative vibe. Like you know how you journal and you tell an old story? Well, the theme in Sacred Remembering this month is moving from the old story to the new story. And it was like with these fresh pages, there's no more old story. So, like, new rule, Sarah Poet, only be in your creative power, only be in your creative self. And I was like, okay, wow, like we just, this challenge, right? This game was just upped. Okay. So now that's in the morning pages. I for sure can tell you that I am not able to totally do that yet in life. Like, holy moly, you know, reactivity is kind of par for the course. Like, something catches you off guard, and it is natural to have like a reaction, but we can choose to be reactive or not, I would say. So just ponder, like, now and as you move forward after hearing this episode, if I say to you, or if these words are spoken, that you are a creator being, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? It's so expansive, it's so new. And this feminine essence that's returning to earth, I mean, it's returned, it's here, like this Sophianic Sophia. This is why I'm offering the call of Sophia in March. Like, it's here, she's here. The problem is that, like, we are distracted, or we are not realizing, or like tuning in, right? But this essence is here, and um which is different than how it has been in the last, you know, many years. But over the last like 5, 3, 2, 1 years, the feminine has been repairing in the planet. So the planetary systems and the architecture that upholds the flow of the feminine current has been recovering. Many Earth Grid workers are helping to recover. And in fact, you are helping to recover this cohesiveness, coherence of the feminine flow when you are practicing reclaiming the feminine, standing in your truth, you know, everything I talk about. So it's both and, like, we're doing it and the earth is doing it, and we're doing it in tandem. It's the earth, it's us, it's the cosmos, it's the bigger system, but there's a energetic architecture that upholds it. And that is actually healing in very real time. So things that we were not able to do or realize, you know, as women or for the feminine, like 5 years ago, it's almost like, this is why we need to upgrade our story, because now very new things are possible. This is why I'm getting, you know, this upgrade right now, and I trust that you're getting your own version of this upgrade. So time for the new story, time to realize that you are a creator being, and the feminine is back and here now to partner with us, this great mother of creation, this force that is the Sophia, the Sophianic force of creation. So the micro and the macro, right? Like, this is such an amazing opportunity to really remember from these ancient places, y'all. I'm talking ancient places. I'm talking our soul. Like, this is why this collective is coming through me. This is why we have sacred remembering, because, like, these things are in us, in our, like, they're codes in our DNA, like way back in our soul's memory, right? And we came to the earth at this time, the women that we came to the earth at this time to reawaken in tandem with the earth. I mean, how fucking cool, how blessed cool is this? So this is no small thing. So you're being called to remember the feminine. You're being called to stand in the truth of who you are. And I know that a lot of you are being called to create. You are being called to create a business, create a solution, create a book, create a podcast. It's incredible. Here's the thing I want to say, and this is in part through a lot of like lived learning and mistake making, okay? And my intuition for what's coming. It is so important right now. If you are a woman who is like, yes, I've been remembering, I've been practicing, I'm gonna bring something through, or you just like great mothers pushing you to bring something through, please do not waste your life force trying to fit into existing structures. Do not hire a loud big business coach that promises you that if you just follow their Instagram strategy, you will have the biggest following in the world. All of that, I'm sorry, it's probably not going to work for the New Earth pioneers. Okay. I know many very, very powerful women who are not skyrocketing in their Instagram following, myself included, right? And the mechanics, like it actually wouldn't work. Now, maybe if I were a manifesting generator, it would kind of be different. I could have pushed my way through. Didn't end up like that. So I have learned these things by living them, and I have tried many, many solutions that were scripted, many of the solutions that other people found. Okay, so we can do it the old way and push and maybe explode the following. But probably if you are listening to this podcast, that will not work for you, because if you are here for the new earth, you will not be permitted to really do that. Now, take anything I say with a grain of salt, right? But that is my hunch. And the reason, so let's go to the positive. The reason is that you are coming with the exact instruction set that you need. You are coming with the inner instruction set. And who's to say that the instruction set that's inside of you doesn't have a whole new solution for the earth? Instagram itself is owned by infiltrated humans. I'm choosing my words here. It's corrupt, right? Like it is a system. It is an existing structure and system and energetic. You got to pay attention to what you're even engaging with. So are you going to become a slave to an existing structure that, a person that you don't even know if you even like, let alone can get down with? Like, that's the energetic that holds that structure. Well, how much do you want to give to that? Right? Like, they've just recently, like, changing the profile from a square to a rectangle. Now, some of you may not even know what I'm talking about. My son was like, what are you talking about? My Instagram didn't do that. So moving after in training all these creators for all these years that the Instagram profile grid is a square, it just moved it to a rectangle, fucked up the grid, fucked up the aesthetics of the grid, right? And that is like a major fuck you to creators. It's like, we don't actually care what you're using this platform for, right? So that energetic, how much of your power do you want to give to things like that, right? So you can use the platforms, you can engage. I am. And I'm keeping my heart open. I'm keeping my intuition open. I'm listening to, well, what are the new solutions coming forward? How do I want to engage my energy? And for me, what my intuition is saying is create. Sarah, every Friday, get on this podcast, do your thing, build up your energy. And I can tell you that every single day in my life right now involves at least a few significant energetic upgrades, because I'm living in that devotion. I'm like, oh, you know, I was counting on something external. I was counting on like maybe validation. I was reacting to what was going on, and just my whole intuition right now is like, clean it up, live in the source channel of who you are, be on mission, and stay there and continue to build in that space. So, back to creativity, the most important thing that we really can be doing is engaging in this creational energetic. The most important thing that we can be doing is engaging with the deep creativity that is coming through us. I think it's possible that there's nothing more feminine on the planet than deeply creational energy. And this is a whole other thing. Like the creational energy of the feminine has been stolen, diverted, hijacked, right? So it's this act of rebellion, reclamation, that we again become true creator beings through the feminine, through this like energy of the cosmic womb, the womb of the great mother. So you need to feel into these things and like, derive your own relationship to them. So if there is a force of the great mother on the planet, around the planet, in you, all of it, the macro, the micro, and she's coming more alive, what is she whispering in your ear? What is the call of Sophia that you are hearing? It's very important that we listen to that. It will reshape the earth when you listen to that, when you create the thing that you are being called to create. Enough with the reactivity, enough with the mind games, enough with the like looking for validation. I'll talk more about that in a moment. So just one thing here that I want to mention is that there's a great new podcast called Sirens of the Mother. And I did an interview with the host Coco Oya Sienna Ray yesterday. So that will be out soon. And check out this podcast. This frequency is such an earthly, primordial, feminine frequency, this frequency of this mother that is coming through and the conversations that Coco is having. And we talked a lot in the episode that we recorded about each woman's importance and each woman standing in her own coherent channel and hearing exactly what she hears and bringing that through. And Coco's doing that, and I'm doing that. And really, women, that's going to become the siren. That's going to become the call. You're not going to need a number of likes. You're not going to need to be on a male millionaire like platform with a structure that you don't really agree with. You're not going to be giving your life force energy to any of that, because you will be the song of creation. And Coco and I talked about that. So we are becoming this coherent channel of the sound of creation. The sound of creation works through us. We cannot be reactive and cultivate that current. I mean, ask me, I know. I've done that plenty. Like the whole thing of this podcast was stand in the truth of who you are. Well, there were many times that I veered from that path. I mean, fuck, I'd probably have 18,000 followers on Instagram if I had stayed in the channel. But, that wasn't the way it went. And I don't even like the word followers. Like, I don't even like that. That's a reaction, right? I want us to be like co-creators. I want us to be in community. That's why I made a community. All right. So I'm just looking over these notes that I wrote. It is literally our job to stick with the frequency of who we are. And what a gift to ourselves. What a gift to the planet, but what a gift to ourselves, right? If we're like, oh, I can slow the fuck down, I can answer the call of Sophia, and I can live my life as my soul always intended for me to live it. Yes, you can. Yes, we can. Being far less reactive, wasting far less life force. They wanted you to waste your life force because your life force is inherently creational. I'll say that again. They wanted you to waste your life force. They wanted to distract you. They want you to say, oh, I got to save the children. And like this post, me posting about this is going to help. It's not. Actually changing the earth grids, actually creating the solutions, that's going to help save the children and whatever else we need to do, right? So the more of us that live in that embodied source power, the less those other structures have the power, right? This is how we change it. We actually change the world by standing in the truth of who we are. We actually change the world in our sovereign energy. This is why I do and teach everything I do and teach, and why I come back and tell you the same things week after week. All right. So, there was this quick story I'll just share. In the context of the question, what wants to be created through you? And sometimes we just need to practice. Like, we don't need to be creating the legacy piece right now, right? We might need to practice. So in 2024, I practiced by making these clay snakes. They were like flat slabs. And then I always wanted to do sgraffito, which is like painting it black and then scraping away so that an image comes forward. And I started making these snakes. Some of you have seen this. Some of you, this was the first time you're hearing about it. And I loved it. Like I love snake medicine. I have a snake tattoo. It's been very, central to this like feminine, erotic, creational theme throughout my awakening years. And so the serpent was talking to me, and I was like compelled to do these serpents. And women kept saying, I would buy that. That's beautiful. Like, so, and then another one of my friends said, maybe a card deck, right? So over the course of the year, I made many of these clay serpents. And each time I made one, and each one had an egg. They were guarding an egg. Now, this was just my soul being creative, right? Like art doesn't have to make sense. So each of these serpents was guarding an egg. And then I was channeling like the medicine of these resource serpents and like the resource eggs. And they were, this primal serpent energy. And we channeled about it a few times in the sacred remembering community. And we went to the center of the earth and we felt the egg of the center of the earth crack and all this, like, then the eggs turned gold. And I mean, it was like a whole thing, right? My soul was like doing this whole thing. I did write a 44 card deck. I haven't published it. The resources aren't there right now to actually publish the thing, but maybe that'll change. And and I have an artist who's like ready to make the card deck with me. So we'll see what happens. Not every creation needs to become a production, but I made these resource serpents. It was so earthly, right? Because like there's clay. My soul has a history with clay. It was so good to reawaken that in me. I put them for sale on my website. Like people have bought them. They are hanging in people's homes. It's amazing. It's a medicine piece. They're still on my website if you would like to see what remains there. Some powerful pieces, each one a medicine piece, right? So go with the one that speaks to you. And my point is that I was reawakening creativity in doing this. Like, again, it didn't make sense. I was channeling something. It was long term. It was something I could come back to. And it was like rhythmic, got my hands messy, got me into that other side of my brain, right? So if I'm just trying to produce and create and run a business all day, like I'm not always in that like right side of the brain, or that those creative spaces, right, where you're like deeply channeling something new. So what can you do to get into that kind of space? You know, do you want to take a clay class? Do you want to paint? I'm always shouting out Kelly Al, AHL, Kelly Al Art. She's a member of the Sacred Remembering community. And inside of the Sacred Remembering community, there are 2 workshops that she has led us through, like a soul paint, and we did a womb manifestation a year ago. My social media just reminded me that it was exactly a year ago that we did that. So that was very powerful. So getting into the visceral, the creative, the visceral doesn't have to make sense. I mean, play with Play-Doh with your kids, like go outside and like make a collage with tree bark, make a wreath from vines, right? Like what can you do to evoke these creative capacities in you as a feminine being and as a creator? And like I said, this is like the most powerful thing that we can be doing for feminine reclamation on the planet right now. I really, truly believe that. Like, I'm sorry, drop polarity teachings and go get yourself some paint. Like, this is the feminine. Okay. All right. No, that was oversimplified, but you know what I mean. So, the mother of life birthed creation. She wants to come through us. She wants to collaborate. There is a world of magic here, my friends, a world of magic waiting to be reclaimed. I'm going to not tell the story about validation in the interest of time, because I want to get to this channeling. And I'll just say that, you know, I have spent time looking for being reactive and looking for reassurance, looking for validation that I'm on the path. And just this week, it's as this whole activation was going on in me, it's so funny because as I really embrace creativity more, way more women are coming out of the woodwork. Hi, women in the woodwork, coming and saying, thank you for making that thing. Sometimes it's like, thank you for making that thing you made 2 years ago. Like, they're not talking about what I'm making right now. They're telling me that my creations have mattered to them. And that, as a creator being, is like the most beautiful thing. Like, it literally brought me to tears as Coco was telling me this about the podcast. And so it's so, I'm so glad. And the like the ache of not having validation or confirmation that anything I was doing was meaning anything to anyone, or, you know, like looking for confirmation in like the number of sales, or how many people were buying from me, like all of that was pretty much just shooting myself in the foot, and stopping the flow of creation. So it's like, so I say this to say, don't worry about the external. As you are being a creator being, don't worry about the external. And the frequency, what this story that I'm sharing with you, which I said I wasn't going to share the story, but I'm making it really short. My point is, the more I'm in the frequency of creation, the more like genuine feedback, but it's like love and gratitude and appreciation. So it's like all this high vibe energy is coming back, like, and that's regenerative. Like, I don't know if you can feel that the way that I'm feeling that, but it's like, you know, you put something out into the world, you create, you're in this creational energy, and then, you know, this love, gratitude, appreciation comes back to you. That's right reciprocity. So if we're making something and we're saying, you know, I painted this thing, why isn't anyone buying this painting? I made this course, why isn't anybody buying this course? Or why are only like 5 people buying this course? Well, that is halting the flow of creation. Again, I can say that because I've done it. I've like made that mistake so many times, because we're creator beings. We also want to make a living doing these beautiful things, right? So the more that we can stay in the creative energy, which again, I think is going to be more possible now than ever, then the more we will be with the flow of creation. Y'all, I don't know if that's as exciting to you as it is to me, but I just feel like we're, cracking the codes of creation right now. Like, this is all I need. This is all I need. So I'm so excited. And we're going to drop into this transmission with the Sophia Rose Collective here in just a moment. So get yourself a glass of water. You can listen to this if you're on the go, but if you are able to listen to this when you are still, so that you can like drop into the subtle realms, into the subtle noticing yourself, that would be really wonderful. And I think this one, we're going to talk about the life force of creation and even the blood and the womb of the creation. And just to say, I said this a few weeks ago, that what I'm noticing about the transmissions, the energetic transmissions, when we do them on the podcast, is that they're a little bit lighter, right? Because they're going out into the collective, and they're very optional and they're very like introduction, although today's doesn't feel like an introduction. And then as we step into community, in the sacred remembering community, they're like more robust. And if you're going to join the Call of Sophia, the 4-week meditation series in March, that will also be more robust. So these are transmissions of Sophianic frequencies. Transmissions of Sophianic frequencies. So it's not just a meditation. It's like you can get the energy, right? You can receive the cellular activation. You can receive the activation of your divine remembrance. Okay. And then many times as we're doing this, you'll have your own visions, or you'll have your own clairvoyance, clairaudience, that you see something, you hear a particular message that is meant just for you. That's beautiful, right? I'm not the only channel here. We are each channels. We are all doing this, and we all have the capacity, even if this is your very first time trying anything like this. Okay. So let me just pause and see if there's anything that I want to share with you before I drop into holding that space. Same things I usually say. If you like this podcast, please share it with a friend. Please make sure that you are signed up on the newsletter list at sarahpoet.com. I send Sunday posts, inspiration, and the more I listen to my creative channel, the more cohesive I will be with my writings. So I'll be doing more blogs and with this, organizational help of the Sophia that I mentioned earlier. So that's very exciting as I stand in the strength of my channel to bring forward the written works that I've been working on for a few years now, and those that are meant to come, into the future. So bottom line, please connect on sarahpoet.com. Sign up for the newsletter if that's resonant. That's a good way to stay connected as to everything that is coming up in the future. The Sacred Remembering community is there. It is currently $65 a month, or $555 for the year. We are going to journey into the theme of creativity in March, and being a creator being. And you can step into that community. I would just really be clear with the recommendation that you will get the most out of the community if you come to the live calls. I mean, that's pretty much like most of the that's like 75% of the reason why to join the community. So, just know that. Like, it's not just an online, we're not just going to like entertain you online. It's not another Instagram, right? It's a community. So we want to know you. We want to get to know you and amplify all of these creational energies together. And then, of course, if you want to work with me one-on-one, maybe in that path of business development, in that soul path of becoming more sovereign and simultaneously more robust, more creational in the truth of who you are, of course I am here for that. That is what I'm here for. All right. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Like, I got some feedback a couple times this week that people think I'm like one woman said that she had sweet, beautiful woman said that she was like a little starstruck that I reached out to her. I was like, oh, no. Like, I'm just human. And I might, I'm that projector energy. So it might feel like really big. I work on my energy a lot. I'm glad that it holds that presence, but I really am very approachable. I'm working with a business coach, and she was like, I don't know if people know that you're approachable. Y'all, please. I am approachable. I love you. I freaking love you. That's why I do this. All right, let's be friends. Okay. All right. So, on that note, I was going to sit down to the Coco interview yesterday, and this piece of carnelian wanted to come with me to the table, which is interesting because I'm not that attached to, allies, stones, this and that anymore, just really relying on the source connection. And this little carnelian, I'll hold it up if you're watching on the video. It's always been reminiscent of like a womb for me, because she's got this crystal cavern like in down deep into her. So over the years of my womb awakening and remembrance and the sovereignty journey with the womb, this stone ally has traveled with me, and I find it here today. So presencing that and that rich, deep red color of the carnelian. So inviting you to settle, noticing your body, noticing your breath, and noticing it with eyes and the mental attention of love. See yourself through love. Breathing, self-love, self-reverence. When we do this, if you have resistance to that, the self-reverence it's not saying that you're better than anyone else. It's not like putting you on some kind of pedestal. It's not those sorts of like lower frequency sorts of interpretations. It's kindness and love for yourself. That you are here on this sacred remembering journey, showing up to your path in this lifetime, and it is no small thing. So please acknowledge yourself. Please acknowledge how sacred and special that is, and maybe even how ancient the cells, the blood, the memories, and even like all of the elements that constitute who you are. It's all very ancient. So claiming this space as sacred, sovereign, and free, held by the Christos Sophia, Mother, Father, God, unified creation. And surrounding each woman who is absolutely sovereign listening to this. This is absolutely sovereign. You say your own sacred yes or sacred no to anything I say, and you have the choice. You always have the choice. So you are in your sovereign source connection, and we are claiming that each woman's space is sacred, sovereign, and free, free of interference, and held by Mother, Father, God. So as you claim that for yourself, we're going to breathe a few moments here and wait for some things that are not sacred or of us or needed leave the field. And how powerful, just hold that source connection, but just these words, right? How powerful that we're doing this together. Because even if, I record this on Friday and you listen on Tuesday, we're still like probably hundreds of women that are doing this. And the exact time and space doesn't matter, but it does matter that we're collectively doing this. So noticing that you're sovereign, you're here, you're choosing it, and there are other women with you choosing to do this same work, to do the same act of standing in the truth of who we are, of showing up, claiming our sacred nature. So allow yourself to imagine the soil beneath you and like sink your feet down in the soft earth. Just imagine. And as we do that, we like exhale and sink down a little bit deeper, like when you're standing beside the ocean and the waves are lapping at your feet and your feet are like sinking down and into the sand. Just imagine that that's kind of happening with your feet on the soil and the land where you live, the geographic where you live. And allowing your toes to just interact with the minerals in that dark, rich soil. Ha. Key word is allowing, right? With every move we make, we allow. And then open up the energetic centers of your feet, the soles of your feet, open them up to communicate with that soil, with that rich earth. And now notice as the gold frequency of creation begins to communicate through your body, through the soil. It's like threads, gold threads, beginning to communicate in each and every one of us and all around the globe. This network. Literally lighting up the grid, y'all. Like this is how it happens. So spend a few waking aware moments there in the activation of that rich earth, the welcoming of the gold frequency to activate with you, through you, in connection with the positive earth grids of the planet. And then we're calling for a clearing of the energy, the full energy channel, the full energy body, 12 dimensions and beyond. So if you agree, you can say yes. I'm just claiming the sanctity of that now. I am here. You can even say those words, I and your full name, am here. So we're bringing the I am presence, the all that is, the source presence, and we're anchoring it through the body and into the earth, into the full dimensionality of who we are. I and your full name am here. I am here. Very good. So some of you are starting to now feel the activation. We've got the activation of the gold frequency, the activation of the earth. We've got the activation of your source channel and the energy system that supports your source channel, this multidimensional energy system that you have. Some of you are feeling that, some of you are not feeling that. That's okay. Just trust, imagine, feel, be curious, right? But there's very strong energy that's coming through. There's very powerful, very clean, very sovereign energy coming through this one source channel between source and your sovereign harmonic, the sound of creation that you make, the sound of creation as it runs through you. If you desire that to be activated in you more, now you can say yes. Beautiful. So strong, women. This is so amazing. Okay. We're just going to allow that to stabilize, hold that strength, claim that gold frequency for yourself, that one sound of source creation, claiming the sovereignty of your field, the I am presence here in your body, claiming your connection to the positive earth grids, to the primordial, to the black soil, to the gold frequency in the earth, claiming your space here, claiming that you are here for it. And we're just intending that each and every woman be activated in these frequencies as much as possible in this now moment. You can always re-listen. You can always practice this, for yourself, claiming this every single day. Okay. And there's some repair that is happening on the field itself. Yes, there's the collective field. Sometimes I'll see what's going on in some, or like, who knows who exactly, whose field I'm seeing, but on the collective field right now, there is some repair that is happening outside of the energy field. And this came up in a session this week too, where there's sometimes when our energy field is like broken or infiltrated, which happens to all of us, has happened to all of us over lifetimes, and then we have to repair it. There's like a vacancy in the field, and there's a vacancy that's in our energy field, and the energy body acts almost like a vacuum to forces that we actually don't want to experience or don't want to keep experiencing, but we do because we don't know that there has been this like vacuum created in our energy field. And so the architecture of creation is helping to heal this now for everyone, which is so beautiful. Connected to the heart, the life force, and I'm hearing the words like the pulse of the mother, which is beautiful because that's where we are going. So beautiful. Breathe into the body, breathe into the navel point, and presencing with the micro and the macro, the womb of creation and your womb, or the space in your body, the dantian, where the womb would be. Potentially you don't have a womb, potentially you're a man. So go to that center through the navel point, awareness, and breathe there, breathing in and out into the lower abdomen, ever so softly and gently. And she, Sophia, is beginning to open up a channel within you so that you can receive more of this vibrance and life force that's going to be coming in next, particularly from the Magenta Rose Collective and the vibrant life force of Sophia. So breathing into the womb, into the belly area, the navel point, and just imagining that there's like a channel that is opening up within your channel. It's robust. It's around the central column, like the spine, where the Kundalini would like ride through your body. And just breathe with a certain robustness, confidence, invitation that this channel open up to receive more life force. Now, if you say yes, we're still opening it. We're opening it together. We're opening it, each of us, with our breath. Connecting in, grounding into that primordial soil of the mother that we're anchored in with our feet, our legs. You might even, I just saw some of us like getting down on our knees, like we're, birthing, right? So it may begin to feel much more primordial as you engage with this energy. That's beautiful. Go with it, if even in your imagination. Breathing in and out and knowing that you are breathing with the breath of creation, the primordial mother of creation. Breathing in and out, and as you do, you are moving this Sophianic life force through you, opening up to receive from her. We're still opening. We haven't even begun to receive this new energetic yet. It's like we're just preparing still. So feeling this, like the creation impulse that's moving through you now, like this, it could even feel like a rise of a dragon force or the rise of a serpent force that's moving through you, awakening this creational energy in you. This is so beautiful. This is connected to like literally nothing other than, the earth, your soul, and these primordial energetics that are coming through here. So really allowing yourself to dance with this, play with this, open up, if your body feels safe to trust and to interact and engage with this creational energy. Your soul has to say yes or no. And if it's a yes, just, imagine opening to this primordial power of the mother. And so now we are beginning to receive some of these transmission frequencies, and it could feel as though they're flowing down and through this central channel within the channel that you opened, that it's connecting from almost like the umbilicus of the primordial mother with your own umbilicus and womb, right? It's coming down into that channel. So allow it to flow as it will. And we are receiving the lifeblood of the mother now. We are receiving this rich, purple, dark lifeblood of the primordial mother into our systems, into the exact spaces in our systems where it is needed, where we need deep nourishment and replenishment. It's going to some of your organs, the kidneys. It's going to your blood to enrich your blood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can say yes if you want to receive that. This earthly essence, like of a very mineral essence, is coming through. It's almost like liquid mud coming through now through this channel, and saying yes if you want to receive this really rich nourishment of minerals, of earth, of remembrance, of there's some sort of like primordial soils from other places, right? Like we are star seeds, we are here on this planet, bringing remembrance from all of these other places that we've been. And so there's some, oh, this is very cool. There's like soil activation from the various places that you've been, like the activation of stardust coming through this like liquid soil that's coming through. So if you want to receive that and activate that divine remembrance within you, you can say yes. And also noticing and knowing that you are channeling this through and receiving this, for the earth as well. So really, the whole time we're doing this, allow yourself to be nourished, like as above, so below, with the feeling of the earth that we are standing in, and really exchanging energy with the positive Mother Earth that we are, here with, we are living on, we are connected to, and that we have put our feet in here today. So bringing that liquid soil, for lack of a better word, down and through to the earth itself. Allowing it to like mix and mingle. Very good, very good. And there's some communication happening from Sophia, Gaia, the earth, back up and through you as this alchemy happens. So there's an exchange of energy and communication between these particles. Very good. You're really facilitating a lot of activation here as you are also receiving. So that is also so regenerative, right? It's just so deeply and inherently regenerative that we would be, open to doing this, open to receiving support. And then also, we're helping the earth is helping us. It's like everyone benefits. And that is the way of the new. That is the creational way that we rebuild the feminine back into the earth. Everything is collaboration. Everything is one system, one people, one energetic, and we're making our way back to that. So you are really helping to bring that more into like reality here as we do this. Thank you for doing that. Okay, and next there is a liquid gold plasma, y'all, like a thick liquid gold plasma coming through the central channel, coming through this gift of the cosmic mother, divine mother, eternal mother, opening up to receive this liquid gold plasma through your central channel and seeing where it wants to go. For some of you, it is going to the womb. That tells me that there are some of you who are maybe preparing to have babies, and this liquid gold plasma is going to the womb to make a nice cushy home for those like special starseed babies that you are going to bring in. Amazing. And it's also going to the spine and the structures of the spine, actually, like the bones themselves. So being with that. Allowing for whatever this means, if your soul says yes, allowing for the bones of the spine and spinal column to activate with this plasma gold frequency. Great. That's really opening up very wide to like the great central sun, this source frequency. My cat is coming to join us here. Hey. sometimes when the energy gets really good, she just wants to be a part of it. When I used to do energy sessions in my living room, she would lay on the patient. She would lay on the client on the table. So she's a special one. She's called forward with the energy. So, but she needs to behave around my computer. Okay. All right. And then here's what I was seeing earlier. So there is a frequency that's very, very rich in nourishment. It's very rich, like blood. So there's a color, right? This magenta rose, and this wants to be spoken to. It's like the blood of the earth, and it interestingly, when Jace McDonald channeled the logo and branding for the Sacred Remembering podcast, which he did as a total gift, he was called to do it. He channeled the colors that are actually from the Magenta Rose Collective. So it is a magenta. It is a rose. You can look at the literal podcast cover for the transmission. This color is also all over the Sacred Remembering community if you're already in there, right? So the color itself, it's also in my Instagram grid that is now a rectangle and no longer a square. So this color, this like he did the background with like a gradient, and the gradient involves rose, it involves magenta, it involves these hues, and it involves gold. So it is all of those things, very, very rich, very creational, tonal frequencies, and the color is transmitting that. So this that is coming down and through this central channel and this like divine essence from Great Mother, it's very, very nourishing. The blood of the earth, like just, if stones were to bleed, if the earth itself was to bleed, like it is like the deepest blood of the earth, of the mother. If you desire to receive that, you can say yes. And it comes down and through, nourishing ever so deeply. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reconstituting your relationship with the earth and with this soil. This is happening for many of you, almost as if I'm seeing like like an umbilical cord from you to the earth, is the vision that I'm getting for some of you here. Many of us, many people are disconnected from the earth and from the earth grids. And so this is symbolizing like this nourishment, to connect down and in, connect to the nourishment of the earth, the blood of the earth. Let me see if I can get some more words. But again, see what you see, trust what you see, allowing this to bless, each and every organ, blessing the blood in your body, blessing your bones, blessing just all of your vitality, right? Like, may this be as good as the best acupuncture treatment you've ever had for vitality, right? Like, may this just make you so much more vital. There's something about this blood of the earth and the stone, and the fact that I had this inclination to even mention the carnelian at the beginning, and I'm holding this red stone in my hand. This is some sort of code that's coming through. So this blood of the earth, I'm still distracted by this cat. I'm so sorry. Oh, she's moving on. Thank you. Thank you. So this is something for us all to be with in our sacred remembrance, bringing this essence, this magenta rose, this blood of the earth back to the earth. Like that is a part of the ask here. Okay, so in your remembrance, this will activate. It will activate more in the earth. This is very beautiful because we are being given this like as a tribe, okay, as a collective here. And so each woman's remembrance is very important, right? Each woman is a collaboration of the whole. Okay, this is very beautiful. Very beautiful. So we are going to begin to wrap up here, but there is some stabilization energy that's coming in throughout the grid, throughout the morphogenetic field. Dr. Jacqueline Hobbs calls this quadrality. So I'm seeing it, throughout literally like a grid, right? Through up, down, left, right. The gold frequency is coming into anchor the transmission and stabilize the system. So if you wish to receive that, you can say yes. Beautiful. Feeling again your feet in the soil, feeling yourself strong. There, very good. So we anchored it. That is very excellent. That is amazing. This is definitely the biggest transmission we've been given for the podcast itself. So things are accelerating. This is beautiful. Okay, everyone. So that anchored, that solidified. You can listen to this again. Please share this with anyone that you are feeling called to share it with. And we're welcoming this activation to continue in the ways that you said yes, right? We want the highest and best possible outcome for everyone. And anything that we did here, the intention is that it continues. So everyone open your eyes now and look around the room, but still feel the energy that you just activated. Okay. So we don't open our eyes and it all goes away. Like open, look around. Oh, hi 3D. Hello, world that I live in. But feel what just happened. This is very important. This is very important for bringing forward the new earth, right? We don't pop in and out of this regenerative feminine, all of these, supportive frequencies, and then just go back to floundering, right? Like we get to bring this all with us in our light body, in the activation of the light body, with the light body and like all layers and levels of our being. Including our physicality. So please treat your body well, drink lots of water, nice, clean eating, all of that. And you might feel like you have a ton of energy. You might feel like you need to nap for 12 hours. I don't know. This was just so beautiful, much more than I expected. So thank you for hanging around for this. So beautiful. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. So thank you for being here. I will connect with you soon. We'll be back next week. And if you want to share any reactions, anything that came up for you with this meditation, really the best way for us to communicate is the Sacred Remembering community. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's there for us to gather. So if you feel called, come on in. Tell us what prompted you to join, and if it was this meditation, then we want to know how this was for you. So many blessings. Things are getting good. I can't wait to hear what you create. So many blessings. Thank you for doing this. Okay, much love.